Hello students, welcome to ePathshala, which is a project sponsored by MHRD. I am Ruchika Joshi, Assistant Professor, PG Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh. Today we will study our paper International Relations Theory, and the name of the module is Dependency Theory. In this paper we will get to know about the meaning, significance and different perspectives of scholars regarding the dependency and dependent variables. We will find this thing that this theory was quite prevalent and it explained the development and underdevelopment and prevailing situations of Asia, Africa and Latin America. So it will enhance our further understanding, and I am sure that you will get to know about this very well. Objectives of this theory are to know the significance of dependency theory in international politics, to understand the dependency theory in comparative analysis of developing countries in Asia, Africa and Latin America, to assess the contribution of dependency theory in the field of international relations and the critical assessment of dependency theory in the context of international relations. Now we will study dependency theory. Dependency theory is popularly used in comparative analysis of developing countries in Asia, Africa and Latin America. Although its origin can be traced back immediately after the end of the World War II, the theory becomes very popular in Latin America during the 1960s and the later finds huge support among several scholars in Asia and Africa. Origin of the term dependency. Dependence originally refers to a state which originally owes its allegiance directly to a dominant sovereign power. It implies external reliance of any state on another powerful state, either politically or economically. Dependency, on the other hand, proceeds from a very different perspective. It focuses on economic, class structure, international capital and the role of the state in managing and shaping local, foreign and class forces that propels development or underdevelopment within a specific country. Raymond Duval argues dependency may be defined as a process of integration of the peripheral countries into the international capitalist system and generation of structural distortions in those societies. In fact, dependency theorists tend to emphasize development or underdevelopment of developing countries as reflection of expansion of developed capitalist countries. Dos Santos, a Brazilian economist, has offered a brilliant definition of dependency. To him, it is a situation in which economies of certain countries are conditioned by the development and expansion of other economies to which the former economies are subjected. To him, the relation of interdependence between two or more economies and between these and world trade assume the form of dependence when some countries, the dominant ones, can do this only as a reflection of that expansion which can have either a positive or negative effect on their immediate development. Broadly speaking, understanding of dependentia may follow two different approaches, non-Marxist and Marxist. The former has been reflected in the writings of ECLA school of thought, which includes scholars like Raul Prebisch, Osvaldo Sunkel, Celso Furtado, internal colonial school of Casanova and poles of development approach of Andrade. The Marxist tradition has been adopted by scholars like Frank Marini, who develops the theory of sub-imperialism, Cardoso as well as Dos Santos. Perspective of Economic Commission of Latin America, ECLA. If Marxist influence in dependential literature can be traced back to Lenin's theory of imperialism, Non-Marxist tradition owes its origin to the establishment of Economic Commission for Latin America (ECLA) under the auspices of the United Nations in the early 1950s. It has been argued that historically speaking, Latin America continues to depend on exports of agricultural products and raw material for its internal development. However, the economic depression which engulfed almost the whole of the Europe during 1930s resulted in the decline of export earnings of Latin American countries. The result was devastating for its overall development. Raul Prebisch argued that manufacturing industries and therefore industrial nations can efficaciously control production, thereby maintain the value of their products at desired levels. This is not the case with agricultural and livestock countries. Prebisch introduced the term core and periphery, probably for the first time in 1944, while the core refers to developed countries and the periphery refers to developing countries. The ECLA school was very much critical of unfavorable terms of trade for developing countries and international division of labor that such terms of trade had created. It was recommended that developing countries should pursue a policy of import substitution, industrialization to get rid of such kind of disparities. Osvaldo Sunkel, a Chilean economist, has argued that development and underdevelopment reflect two different phases of the same universal process of capitalist development. Dependency has two different features. On the one hand, it generates a division between industrial, advanced, developed and metropolitan countries and a world characterized by underdeveloped, backward, poor, peripheral and dependent countries. On the other hand, the same process produces a differentiation as well as polarization within an underdeveloped country in terms of space, backward, primitive, marginal and dependent groups and activities. Celso Furtado, a Brazilian economist, has almost followed the same lines of arguments. In his book, The Economic Growth of Brazil, Furtado argues that underdevelopment has been caused by the penetration of modern capitalist enterprises into archaic structures. To him, European expansionism in the 18th century and subsequently produced a hybrid structure consisting of both capitalist and pre-capitalist formations in developing countries. Internal colonialism. González Casanova, who mainly studied politico-economic development of Mexico and adopted an eclectic methodology, was happy that the Mexican state was effective in controlling external pressures, negotiating with large conglomerates and promoting national development. He, however, identified a different trend in the developmental processes of Mexico. To him, Mexican countryside had been reflecting the major outcomes as well as conditions of traditional colonialism. He discovered two different Mexico. On the one hand, one can see a Mexico consisting mainly of Indians, which was characterized by domination, exploitation and marginalization. On the other hand, one can come across a Mexico comprising of Spanish, Creoles and Latinos, which tends to dominate and exploit the marginal society. He describes this scenario as an example of internal colonialism, which actually typifies colonialism as an integral phenomenon changeable from an international to an internal category. Almost the same argument can be found in the writings of another Brazilian geographer and economist, Manuel Correa de Andrade. Development of underdevelopment. A.G. Frank appears to be the most vocal and probably the most controversial spokesman for dependency theory. In one of his articles published in 1966, he tries to look into the economic and other relation between the metropolis and its economic colonies throughout the history of worldwide expansion and development of the mercantilist and capitalist system. To him, capitalist development in the metropolis has produced underdevelopment in satellite countries of the world. By metropolis, he refers to the developed countries of the West, and by satellite countries, he tends to describe the underdeveloped countries of the world. In the same article, he argues that underdevelopment should be viewed as the historical product of the past and continuing economic and other relations between satellite underdeveloped and now developed metropolitan countries. To him, underdevelopment is not something that existed in the past. In fact, it was still is generated by the very same historical process which also generated economic development. In his book on capitalism and underdevelopment in Latin America, he developed 6 major hypotheses regarding development of underdevelopment. First, in the contemporary world, there exists a relationship between metropolises and satellite countries that shows that metropoles tend to develop continuously while satellites tend to remain underdeveloped. The word metropolis appeared to be all embarrassing and it's not the satellite of any entity. However, development of national and other subordinate metropolises is limited by their subordinate status to the world metropolises. One can illustrate this relationship by looking into the conditions of the cities like Buenos Aires in Argentina and Sao Paulo in Brazil. Both these cities began to flourish in the 19th century but continue to remain dependent on the outside metropolises of Great Britain and the United States. As far as the issue of development of underdevelopment is concerned, as he states in a different context, the closest the economic and political relations between the metropolis and its colonial satellite, the Latin American bourgeoisie, the more the economic and political policies of the latter intensify the development of underdevelopment. Dependent development. F. H. Cardoso and Enzo Folletto, in their book Dependency and Development in Latin America, have tried to free dependency theory from such mechanistic understanding of dependency from the logic of capitalistic accumulation. They do not deny the fact that development of Latin American societies has been closely linked with the expansion of European and American capitalism, but to them, the relationship between external and internal forces tend to form a complex whole whose structural links are not based on mere external forms of exploitation and coercion but are rooted in coincidences of interest between local dominant classes and international ones, and on the other side are challenged by local dominated groups and different classes. Dependencia beyond Latin America. It should be noted that though dependency theory has its origin in the writings of several Latin American scholars, this theory has inspired many thinkers from both Africa and Asia to follow the same logic and apply them to their own national context. One of the most prominent thinkers in this field from Africa is Samir Amin. His whole argument has been expressed in this statement. During the last 4 centuries of capitalist expansion, the peripheries have been submitted to asymmetrical structural adjustments according to the needs of accumulation governed by the dominant North. In the 19th century, with the Industrial Revolution, these adjustments took the form of a contrast between the industrialized centers and the peripheries forbidden to industrialize. 2 of his major works, which contain elaborate arguments of dependency theory, are a 2-volume work entitled Accumulation on a World Scale, a critique of the theory of underdevelopment, and Unequal Development, an essay on the social formations of peripheral capitalism. Critique of dependency theory. Bill Warren has argued that dependency thinkers have failed to recognize the historically progressive nature as well as revolutionary dynamics of capitalism. In fact, it has been argued that foreign capital not only generates employment in peripheral countries but also lays down foundations of development in such societies. Miguel Harris has argued that dependency thinkers cannot understand and have not taken into consideration the high level of development in newly industrialized countries. To him, these thinkers have adopted a mechanistic interpretation of development. In fact, questions have been raised regarding outcomes of development as visualized by the dependency theorists. Rist has raised certain questions since this group of thinkers does not deny the necessity of growth. Is it not their goal to ensure modernization, industrialization, and capture of foreign markets? Is there any guarantee that the so-called anti-capitalist strategy, if any they perceive, would not ultimately embrace the same values such as economic rationality, efficiency, utility, and hard work as projected by supporters of capitalism? It has been argued that dependency thinkers have oversimplified international economic relations, arguing that a disproportionate emphasis has been given to the idea that underdevelopment of third world countries is the direct consequence of the development of advanced industrialized countries. Norman Long states that Frank has given too much emphasis on vertical relationship between metropolitan and satellite countries and thereby neglects the horizontal ties which sustains dependency structure. John Taylor, who tries to explain development of Latin America in terms of modes of production approach, argues that dependency is a sociological fantasy while the concept of underdevelopment is both economic and teleological. It is true that dependency theory has often been described as irrelevant today by both liberal and Marxist thinkers, yet David Slater has identified some of its features which are still relevant. First, in contrast to modernization theory, dependency theorists tend to adopt a much more critical view of the role of foreign capital as an agent of socio-economic transformation of developing countries. In fact, it is difficult to ignore dependency star's argument that incorporation of peripheral economies into integrated international capitalism is detrimental to national development. Secondly, it has reinforced the argument that dependent capitalism tends to generate an urban process of marginalization. Thirdly, the dependency thinkers offer a serious challenge to traditional modern dichotomy as emphasized by modernization thinkers. Let me summarize this theory. As you have seen that we have seen the developmental perspectives of the countries of Asia, Africa and Latin America, as well as the dependency development, and we have also seen some of the different perspectives of different intellectual scholars, and we got to analyze that the origin of this theory goes back to the emergence of capitalism, which is based on international division of labor. Hope this theory benefited you in your endeavor of understanding the various key elements, meaning, characteristics, as well as the origin of the dependency variables. Thank you.